out of time today to talk about and go over your assessment 3. So basically this is going to be your signage for your campaign. This will be a sign for the front of Aqua Excursions building, and the sign will be produced from cut vinyl and plastic and then put over lights so it can be easily seen at night. You're going to use the 2 spot colors only that you remember when we worked in week 2, we created that 2-color Pantone process option. So we're going to do that as your sign logo for your signage. Just make sure it's similar colors to what you're using in your brochure and your poster. It should all look as one because, like I said in week 4, next week, you're going to be showing all of your pieces together, so the logo shouldn't really change color-wise. The finished size will be, in real life printed, would be 4 feet by 10, but since we're working in a smaller scale, it's going to be 4 inches by 10. Now, that means it's going to be landscape, so it's going to be longer than it is tall. You're going to also use not only your logo, but you're going to also use this verbiage. You're going to use Kayak Tour Sales and Service, and then the website listed on there as well. And then what you're going to do is outline your fonts before you submit them as a PDF. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Open up Illustrator. This is the logo that I showed you in week 2. This is a 2-color Pantone color logo. This is what you should be working in. I can see in my swatches, my red is a Pantone and my blue is a Pantone, so I'm ready to go. All I have to do is go File, New, in Illustrator. I'm going to make this 10 inches by 4, 1 artboard. We're going to leave this at RGB for now, 300 pixels per inch, and create. Now you can place this AI file in there. You just, as far as your logo, just copy it, Command C, go back to your layout and paste, Command V. Now you might need to adjust this logo because we have copy that needs to be placed in here. This is the copy we need to place on your sign. So go ahead and copy that. Go back to your Illustrator file, take the Type tool, click anywhere on your board and do a Command V. You can take out the words and the website with the semicolon and return after this, because all we need is this is your first line of copy and this is your second line of copy. Now, I would use a similar font that you use in your other pieces, say like your poster and your brochure for your body copy. I used Helvetica in mine. If you watched the lecture from today for the brochure, you'll see that I used Helvetica. So just make sure it's a readable font. I'm going to make this centered. You can kind of play around with what you want to do. And obviously we want to make this bigger because this is a sign. I'm going to make the logo a little smaller. I'm going to group it first. And then make sure that you do this proportionately. I'm going to go to the scale tool here, double click on it, and then I'm going to take it down about 80%. See how that looks. Make sure it's centered. You can even draw a box here to make sure it's all centered. Make this. Shift select that and then go to your align. And you can center that based on your square here. Same with this. You can center this together. Okay. You can make this that specific color of your logo. Like say if you wanted to make it blue, you would select the type, take your eyedropper tool and select that color, or red, depending on what you want to do. Maybe you just want to do blue for this copy, red for that copy. You can do that. You can make, and I would highly suggest this too, make this copy bigger than this copy, just to get some hierarchy in there. You can make this less bold and this bold if you do that. Put some more leading in here. Just make sure you're paying attention to the spacing. I would put equal spacing above and below the logo. You don't want this too close to the logo. You don't want this too close to the trim edge. You want a nice setup. So this would probably work. You can also play around with it. If you wanted, say, the logo to be maybe on this side, you can make it a little bit smaller. And maybe play around with doing something like this. Just make sure everything's centered, aligned. Obviously, this would change because of the contrast and how it would read. But play around with it, see what you guys come up with. You could probably come up with something really interesting. I wouldn't cut this totally in half. I would do something like this. You could even do something as cool as using this shape in here as part of it. So just copy and pasting that and making this a lot larger. So maybe like 500%. We'll make this blue instead. I'm kind of using that as an element in here. Let's make it even bigger. Let's do like 300. Not 300, let's do 200. Instead of this square. And then kind of utilizing this in a way that works for this overall shape. Oops. Get out of presentation mode here. I just wanted to show you with sorry guys. Let me crop this out so you can at least see what this looks like. Of course, I didn't make that the same size here. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so you could do something fun like that. We're kind of utilizing that. Just make sure it makes sense and it's balanced. You know, I make this a little bit smaller, maybe like 90% smaller. So play around with it, see what works best for your sign, and just kind of think about overall hierarchy, spacing. You don't want it to be too crammed, and make sure the color is consistent. When you're ready to outline your font, do a Command A, which is a select all. Go up to Type, and all you need to do is create outlines. It's going to make it from a font to a shape. And then what you're going to do is, I believe, save as a PDF. Yep. So just go File, Save As, a PDF. And let's save it as an Illustrator file first. Before you save it out as outlines, you'll want to save it as a duplicate and save it as an outline copy so that you can go back and change it if you need to, because you won't be able to if you create outlines and then save over it. It won't go back as a font when you open up that original AI file again. And then open up your this is all kind of in the way here, your PDF when you're ready to look at it. Just make sure it looks good. Nothing is, you know, missing. Everything looks clear. And this is what you would submit for your assessment 3. All right. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.